my years of being a PGA professional, I've had lots of driver fittings, most of which end up in a very similar spec and are rather dull. However, the other day I went for a driver fitting and it was very different. You could say it might well even be a game changer. Introducing the brand new PXG Black Ops driver. Now, what was so different about this fitting, you ask? Well, first of all, it's a totally different head design to what I've been fitted for in the past, and it's a totally, we don't need that on anymore, it's a totally different shaft to what I've been fitted by in the past. We're going to talk numbers of the fitting in today's video. I'm going to take it out on the golf course to see if it, we don't need that either, could be a bit of a game changer for me moving forward in 2024. Because the driver itself looks great, and we'll get onto that in just a second's time, but the fitting itself was very, very good, very insightful, very different. And the specs that I've got this driver in, I'm going to stop beating around the bush. The driver itself is a PXG 0311 Black Ops driver, and I can see straight away this looks totally different to any PXG driver that I've seen before. Now, this driver isn't necessarily to go in my bag. I got fitted for this so I could bring you guys the best review possible, and I didn't really get on with the previous I'm going to throw this, but it feels too nice to throw, so I'll place it. But I didn't really get on with the previous generation PXG driver. I know quite a few people didn't, and this one feels totally different. It actually feels really, really good. There is a Black Ops Tour 1 driver coming very, very soon, so make sure you keep your eyes peeled for that. That's a smaller head with a slightly different MOI, slightly different inertia and different spin rate characteristics, but this one is mega forgiving. In some settings, this driver does offer 10k inertia, which I know a lot of brands are wheeling around now, but it's quite impressive that they can have this driver to be so forgiving. You can see it has all the movable weights in here like PXG are renowned for, and some of the tour players are going to game this driver even if they're uncontracted. That's unheard of for PXG because, I mean, whoever has used a PXG driver that wasn't being paid for it on tour, I can't really think of anyone. And I've been talking about the settings of this driver and the fitting of this driver. Let me hit you a few shots and we'll talk about the shaft that's in here, the KBS TD shaft. But straight away, you might notice something about that ball flight that's different about the characteristics of my game, of my everyday driving game. And the big key of the fitting was to narrow the window of misses down whilst maintaining ball speed, whilst maintaining a certain spin rate and launch characteristic. And I must admit, I'm already pleased because that strike felt really, really nice. Sometimes when you're getting fitted inside, the acoustics are a little bit different, the drivers can sound different. Out here on the golf course, that still sounded as nice as I remembered it. Guys, get in the comments below, what do you think to this driver? I almost think it looks TaylorMade sim-like. It almost looks like that is a little bit of an inertia generator. I actually spoke to the head guy at PXG who is in charge of designing the woods, and he said it's
down closer to the ground.
Yeah.
So whereas this one sits a little higher up, and then we have that pop out to still bring the center of gravity down.
Yeah.
So, and because of that, this back weight on this one is just kind of pushed back.
Would that affect? Yeah. Would that affect club head speed more with the aerodynamics?
Not really. Honestly, the biggest thing when it comes to aerodynamics is always face size, and then like these leading edge roundness. So
it's not to do with that. It's not to do with shape in motion and all that. When you do see the tour version's even more elongated because the head sits a little bit higher up. This head is designed to cover more surface area to make it a little bit more forgiving. And the first clue I'll give you on the fitting is that you can't see anything else but that 10.5 degree head, because generally I've started hitting down on the ball more. I don't know why. It's not something I've done on purpose. I'm sure a lot of golfers can relate that when you play a lot of golf or hit a lot of balls and you're not practicing a lot. Hold my hands up, I've had a baby in the last 9 months, been quite busy with work, all the different excuses that everybody seems to have, and your game just kind of moves to where it naturally feels like. I want to practice more, I want to get in the studio, I want to get myself hitting it better, but it goes to show that there is an answer out there to potentially hitting better golf shots without changing your game totally. That's not it, by the way, there's more. On top, this driver it doesn't look like a PXG driver. And I think that's kind of an accolade I think PXG might be happy with. I know a lot of the fitters are taking some getting used to not having that kind of matte finish on top, but I think this gloss carbon finish actually looks really premium, actually looks really nice. I really like the white skirting around it. That just shows how much surface area this head does cover. And I think it's going to fill people with an air of confidence as well. Obviously you have X marks the spot in the middle for the sweet spot. Can we hit a similar shot? Now that's the one that I really like about this driver. I've definitely, I mean, look at the strike on here. I'll put the strike on screen now. That felt like it was middled, and that's scary because without looking at that feedback on the face, I honestly wouldn't know that that was a bad shot. The spin rate will have been 2,500. I think ball speed theirs are going to be around 160. That's going to be carrying a good distance. That's why potentially these drivers could be good for people like me and like you that don't hit the middle of the face as often as maybe you should. Some people hit the middle of the driver face very, very often. They're very talented, they're very gifted, well done. Sometimes you might need a bit of help. And that's one of the big things that I cited in this fitting. It actually felt like the bad shots were pretty much going as well as the good shots. In some cases, they were going better than the good shots. Can we hit another nice low one round this corner? Okay, not a low one, but where's that? Again, that's slight towards the toe, so we're not really hitting the middle of this face. But I can't wait to show you when we get down there just how consistent those front to back dispersions pretty much are. I'm really pleased with that. How good does this sound, by the way? For a PXG driver, massive tick in the box, well done. For a PXG driver, massive tick in the box, well done to everybody involved on the acoustics. Now I also got a small matter of an adjustment key. Now I'm going to use this adjustment key. I don't like people using adjustment keys when they're being fitted for a driver because it doesn't make a lot of sense. But I'm going to use it to show you what was so good about this fitting, so different about this fitting, and kind of hard to accept about this fitting. But the ball flights speak for themselves. And you see, one of the big things that I enjoyed is the shaft profile on this KBS shaft. So you may have seen the video where I went and got fitted for a driver shaft with Lawrence, and it was a very interesting fitting. We used the Titleist head, and the TPT shaft was really, really good. That worked really well, but that's quite an expensive upgrade. The KBS shaft that we've looked at in this PXG driver, I think has a very similar profile. Now that might be wrong, but my intuition of how I'm hitting it feels like it's really, really good. I don't mind that my bad shots are potentially like a couple of the ones that I've just hit there, because they're still in play and they're still not going a bad distance. And when you hit it properly, yeah, I mean that's, you see there's a good one there and an average one, and they're not that far away. That to me is what a kind of driver fitting is. Can you get your good ones close to your bad ones? If you can, you're winning. The thing I'm finding is like the difference between the good and the bad is minimal, which is something which with the previous gen I didn't see.
So this is obviously like with new face technology, you've got variable face design. So the design to really be hit all over the face to really get that dispersion nice and tight. Because you're basically now 10.5 degree head, set on a small plus setting, so it's 11.5.
Yeah.
But you've also now got all the weight in that front heel position.
And small side note, the fitting took place at PXG's new London South store. So if anyone's based in London or around London, I drove all the way down there for the fitting. It was really interesting. They've got a big shop there. It's really, really cool if you're a PXG fan, you want some clothing, you want balls, you want bags, all the stuff they do have it there. But also I got to go and watch the drive be made. I got to go and watch them put the grip on, see how I put the shaft in, see how exactly they got the specs bang onto the fitting was. I spoke to you about the loft. Let's just have a look with this bad boy, and you can see that although it's 10.5 on the head, we do actually have a heavier weight in the heel as well, because that's just kind of helping my miss and helping the head stay where it needs to through impact. You can see we're set up on a higher loft, so it's actually set at 11 degrees. I can go all the way to 12 degrees if I wanted to on this, but it's not standard, it is a little bit more. And I like that. I like the fact that they've gone down that road, because I might start doing this in fittings and just see what driver works with different loft settings on it. Because if this one seems to work like it does and want to not miss as many fairways in that setting, I can't wait to show you the Tour 1 version, the smaller headed version in this setting, because it did lower the spin rate a bit, and for me it really felt like it could maybe even get me a little bit more squeeze of juice. Is that a term? Squeeze of juice? Juice of squeeze? Anyway, out of the head. Anyway, more so than this head. That head is coming very, very soon. It's actually released at the same time, so you will be able to see that, but they've just not got them made yet, so that's why we've not got them. So, over the corner, it does, like down at the ball, it looks really good. Really good. I want to feel like I keep the ball flight down even though it's high lofted. Like that one. That's an absolute rocket on this hole. And so I keep showing you ball strike location. This is key. This is where you want it. Further down than that. I feel like I can really go after this and not worry too much about it. That's the bad one. So that's the one where that's a little bit higher and right, but that's still going to be in the fairway. It's a wide enough fairway, but it's still in play. Can I hit just a nice little turny over draw? Like that. That, again, I'm looking at the ball strike location and, I mean, how good did that sound? I'm going to replay you that sound now. Like that. That sounds like it's bang out the screws. And you won't believe you when I show you this. But that was out of there. I nearly topped that. And that was the ball flight we got from it. Guys, this is the brand new PXG 0311 Black Ops driver. I think it could be a really interesting one because I don't think a lot of people saw this coming, and I don't think a lot of people potentially thought they might be looking at a PXG in the bag in 2024. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Huge thanks to the guys at PXG for sorting out this fitting, because it's opened my eyes a little bit as to what I want from a fitting and what I want from my game. But apart from that, I'll see you all at the same time tomorrow, potentially, because I don't know when this is going out or what time. But if not, 1 o'clock UK time tomorrow. See you there. Don't be late. Bye.